I'll stop my camera for a bit until I finish my food.
Now.
Okay.
All right. So hi everyone. My name is Keith, and our project was called it's called House Match, and it's designed to make it easier to find a place to live. The way that I'm used to finding a place is you go to Craigslist and you kind of type in the criteria that you want, and you look at a bunch of listings. And the hard thing about that is this reply button up here. Sometimes there's a CAPTCHA. Usually it gives you like an email, and you have to, constantly type in the same email to a bunch of landlords. And then there's no good way of really keeping track of who you've emailed and who you've applied to. And a lot of the time it's a scam anyway. So the idea behind House Match was to make it easier to find a place, to apply to places, and to keep track of who you've applied to, and also to make it more likely that it's not a scam. So here is the Rent Match app running on Meteor Galaxy. So this is a live demo. Right now I'm signed in with my landlord account here, although the UI is available to all users currently. Here's a tab where you can add a new rental into the database. And this is what it looks like from the landlord's view when they have a posting. So for example, with this posting, 2 people have actually responded. And I can go ahead and I can click on a user here. And as the landlord, I can actually view their bio. And I can view how many people that they have, that they want to rent, and how many pets that they have here. I'm going to now give a demo of what it looks like to sign in with a brand new account. So we're going to sign up. Test renter. So when someone signs up with an account for the first time, they get this screen. Where they can build their profile. They can type in the number of renters and pets that they have, and then they can give a quick blurb about themselves. Right, and so on the homepage here, we basically use an interface that's very similar to a lot of dating apps. So there's 2 buttons. This place seems kind of expensive, so I'm going to hit the X button here. This one seems okay, and this one seems okay as well. So when I do that, I can go over to this page here, which are places that I've liked, and I can keep track of my approval status here. Back on the landlord side, I can see that this new person has applied to my unit. I can view their profile. And if I think they might be a good fit, I can hit the heart button here. When that happens, they're added to this chat page down here. And similarly on the renter side, we have the landlord now. And either person can then start chatting with the landlord. Hi, I see you are looking at my place. And that chat appears right over here. Yes. So that's the app in its current state. There are a couple of things that we didn't have time to implement. One thing is photo upload. So right now you can see that the photos are hard coded. The other thing that we really wanted to do but ran out of time was to do like a sort of social media verification to make it more likely that a person has like a, it's not a scammer. And so that would be some next steps if we were to keep building on this. We'd have some photo upload, and we'd have like a sign in with Facebook or sign in with LinkedIn button. But thank you very much for your time. And I'll take any questions now if there's any.
Any questions? No. Can you show a little bit your code, like what you did and like some part that you think could be nice for us to see?
Sure.
Or some part that you are not proud that like, oh, how I can do this better, right? Just for us to understand a little bit better your code.
Yeah, so this was my first time working with Meteor and with React. So there was a bit of a learning curve in terms of the like the way that the data is bound. I was really impressed with how tightly the data in the view is bound to data in the database. It kind of blew my mind when I went into Mongo Compass and I could make a change, you know, in the model in the database, and it would upload in the view automatically. I still don't, you know how that works, but that was pretty cool as someone who's used to just like traditional, like, you know, model view metal apps. Let's see. I mean, one thing that I thought was really cool was, you know, just building this this chat. It's a really basic chat system, but I had a lot of fun doing that, and it was surprisingly easy to get working. There's just a you know, so when one user likes another a landlord's post, and the landlord approves it, the users are added as, like, you know, friends, right? And when they start a chat, it just goes, and here we have an array of users that are, like, you know, in the chat. So this implementation should actually support, like, you know, any number of users who want to chat with each other, and the messages just go in an array. So that's pretty straightforward. One thing that I really wanted to do that we sort of weren't able to was to actually you know, scrape Craigslist data or have some kind of integration with Craigslist rentals. I thought they would have an API or something, but then it turns out that they really don't, and they really don't want you using their data. So that's, you know, maybe something for future work as well.
Okay, and in the go ahead, Imran.
Oh, I was just gonna say that this is I think over here. This is all it takes to, you know, send a message to another user. This is just push into the array of chats.
Are you going, or can I go?
You can go.
Okay, so my questions are more business oriented, so I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you think this could be a product? Are you guys willing to launch it and have users, or was this just for the hackathon?
You know, I think there's real potential here. I mean, as someone who's had to look for a place in San Francisco or in the Bay Area a couple of times, and just dealing with, you know, the whole Craigslist workflow, which was really not very fun. I think there is a lot of potential, especially if, you know, we can somehow access either Craigslist or PadMapper data. And I think the key thing would be implementing like either Facebook or LinkedIn verification. And the vision originally was that, you know, if the person is verified, then you would get like a little, you know, Twitter check mark by their name. And I think it's a strong concept. I think the sort of Tinder, you know, Tinder-esque view could actually work really well, because you know, if it tells you all the information that you need, this could be just a really fast and easy way to, you know, apply very quickly for a lot of rentals. So I think there is a business case here.
One idea that I had when I was trying to find a place in São Paulo, that is a big city, is like it was hard to find a nice way, for example, to see like, oh, is this place near to a subway, or is this place near to like a specific type of place? Like if I want to go like to a Chinese restaurant like every month, like I want to be close to this, because in big cities, like we have a lot of options, But usually like in the filter, you can't like really choose what you want to filter. It's just like very, very basic filters. So that could be also a nice thing, like try to understand more the area and try to integrate with like Google Places and these other APIs to try to bring more benefits. I think it's already an advancement to like just like and like this flow like Tinder. But if you could add like more features like that are going to really help the user, because I was trying to find like a place near to the subway, a place or near to the university that my wife was going to study. And it was really hard to find this in the same place. Then I need to open one by one, try to check in the map and try to compare the distance, like, you know, a lot of manual work for something that's really simple. Like we have API for everything, but we don't have a tool, at least I don't know, that can try to match these needs. Because usually what you are looking for a place is not just the features in the place, but also the location features. So I think most of the websites, they lack the location features.
Sure. Yeah, I totally agree. There's a lot of opportunity there. Right now, this is sort of the model of a rental object, and it is pretty basic. You know, one thing that we didn't implement either is like filtering on the card stack, right? And so I think that'd be really helpful to, you know, filter by location. We're playing around with sort of like a location API. But that's sort of another missed opportunity as well. Oh, let's see. I think it'll pop up and it'll ask if I can use my location. Here we go. Yeah, so I was kind of trying to play around with the browser API, but we ended up not, you know, using this.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah, but I think you're able to do a lot in just a few days. That's pretty cool, because like the basic flow is working. So it's really cool. Yeah,
you know, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, it didn't take that long to just sort of get the basic card, you know, like dislike working. And it was like, hey, I built Tinder in Meteor in, you know, just in a few hours. And so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and also I
nice.
think in your idea, there might be some easy wins for starting. For example, you can scrap some local pages, like you said, Craigslist. For me here, it's not Craigslist, but there's another one that almost like it. So you might want to focus on local things. I'm not sure if that's a United States our own thing using Craigslist or just in Hawaii or any other places. But I like that bit because right now I think your system is more like an Airbnb, but Airbnb is not focused on long-term things like this. So I want to find an apartment for me to live, and I don't have a time to go out and to rent it. And Airbnb is not doing that. So I think it's something with potential.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just
Any others?
add two quick comments. There is apify.com for data scraping that you might want to check out. And for the linking with social accounts, there's also the Bozao link accounts package that you will want to utilize on that one. All in a chat.
Like I already created a few crawlers, and I believe for Craigslist it's going to be pretty easy because their site is very like simple. But the problem is that probably have some kind of like limitation. And if you try to access like many pages, they're probably going to block you. At least these websites, they have this because they want to protect their data. But I think you can go really far with this strategy, and then later maybe they can send you like an email like threatening to suit you or something like that. But to start, like just to prove the concept, I think it's a really nice approach. I already did this like for a jobs website, and then I just crawled like the most popular jobs website in Brazil, and then I had a bunch of jobs like in the first day. So it's a really nice way to start. I think that's the way to go indeed. Like try to get as much as possible, and try to have like the UI in a very, very easy way, like you have. But maybe you can improve like the spacing, and you can try to improve the look and feel. So people are attracted. Okay, I'm going to use this because it's so much easier than Craigslist, because I can just click and filter really fast. So I think that's the way that I would start this. Just a bunch of places there and try to promote for a few people and see what happens, and then improve from there. based on feedback, not like try to do a lot of features before really having people in touch with the solution, you know?
Definitely.
Okay, we still have 30 seconds for a last question, quick question. Okay, it was really good. Congrats for your team. It's not just you, right? There are more members, correct?
Yeah, there's 4 of us.
Okay. Okay, congrats because you really nailed and it's working. It's live. So it's really cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Heath. Congrats. All right, so next team is Astro Hoards. Let me just give you panelists.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Alright, so we're asteroids, and the app we created is called Nebula, which is a project management application. So our landing page is just a simple landing page. So if you're not logged in, this will direct you to sign up for an account. So we'll get started with the admin account. So application's pretty simple. We have 5 cards. Starting from the left, we have the filter card. So clicking on any of these would filter down to specific ones. So there's mechanisms, which we can see in here, matches. And then we can also search by the parts name. So if we enter 2445, we can see that it only shows the camera mount. Or if we do head, okay, and then we have the to-do column. This is the column of things that are of parts that are added to the project but still yet to be picked up. Here we can add. So for example, we can say sample file, we need 12 of these. And then we want to add a designer, an assignee of who would be working on it, and then what mechanism would be part of. And then if the mechanism you don't have added already, or if you don't have the mechanism added already, you can add a new one. So we can say add sample. You can also do this for assignee, actually. And then notes, you can leave additional notes. So if it's like if it needs like a specific thing, like sometimes parts need to be laser etched or like plasma cut or water jet, we can add that into these notes. Here we can add an STL file as well as a schematic. So let me go ahead and just get one of these. So here, this is the STL viewer. We can view like a basic overview of the model itself. Okay. Once you successfully added your file, it'll redirect you to the project board and you can get an overview of it as well. And then this feature is only available for advisors so that students can't add random parts. Yeah. Okay. And then opening, if you hover over these cards, you can go ahead and see a basic layout of all the details that the part has. So we can see everything I added. A quantity of 12, mechanism sample, assigned to sample as well. And it was designed by admin at Foo. And then files attached. So the files that we uploaded can be accessed. So if we click open PDF, it'll show the schematic that we added. And then if we wanted to view the model here, we can go ahead and do that here. in description, it would be the notes that would have been added. And then let's say that the part is no longer needed. Then we can go ahead and just delete that from the project and not have to worry about it. And then down here, as you can see, like anytime there's a change to a project board, these will update along with it. So we move this here. We can see that there's nothing left to do, and 50% of the parts are in progress, and then the other 3 are in the next 2 columns. And then let's see. And then another feature that we added was that for the done column, this would be only available to advisors so that students can't just say their part is done without it having been reviewed. So I can go ahead and show that as a student. So if we try to move anything here, it'll just boot us and kick it right back to the column it was trying to come from. And then let's say you made a mistake while adding a part, or there is an update to maybe the schematic or the STL file. Then we can go ahead and click on this edit button here. And then over here, it's a similar form to the add part. You can add more signees if needed. You can say it's part of, you need maybe 1 or 2 more, and then you can upload a new STL or schematic PDF in case like those are updated as well. And then, yeah, I think one of the main features we wanted to highlight during this demo was just that we were able to implement this drag and drop feature to easily like switch between to do and in progress instead of having to go into like an edit and then switching like manually for each part. But yeah, that's our application.
Yeah, really cool. And it was also nice to see that you add a few features that was going to be hard with Trello, like this progress, because it's not like the progress of each stage, it's like the progress of the project in general, like how close you are from finishing the project. So it's really cool. And I also like the visualization of I think the file is STL, right? What it means STL? It's what is this?
I'm not sure what it stands for, but it's just like a 3D model that can be viewed.
It's really cool. I don't think I have a question for now. Anyone has a question? Your microphone is not working.
Okay, so I'll go ahead. As with the previous team, can you show us some of your code that we're happy with, or was great, or that's giving you a lot of trouble?
Let's start with what we had trouble with, or we're unhappy with. Let's see. So I personally worked on the filter feature, and then just the way, because we're new to like using Draggable, which is from I think React Beautiful D&D. I wasn't. We're like messing with the states a bit differently inside our application, and because of that, I had to, when I created the filter, I had to do it for each like column. And I believe there would be a way to make it so I only have to process this filter once, but then because we put the filter off to sort of the end. We sort of ran out of time and just had to stick with what worked. But ideally, I would like to like cut out 3 lines per part for each of the filters, just so it's like not super repetitive. But something one of my group members are very proud of was just how they were able to implement our photo upload to AWS. So this is the code. I know he spent like a few hours, maybe even longer, just like adding all this, but he was very proud of how he made it so that they only can upload PDF or STL files, so they won't upload anything else and end up in our application. And then he made it so that the progress bar as you like upload a file. So I'll just show it again real quick. Oh, he made it so that as you submit, okay, this one did it a bit faster, but the progress bar at the top would show the current status of the upload for the PDF and STL. The PDF was typically faster than STL file for some reason. But it would show the state, and then it would also, during that time, it helped us like debug some issues on like AWS's like cores and policies, because then sometimes it would get stuck halfway, and then we would know like, okay, it's getting stuck during the upload, or like if it finished uploading, but it didn't upload successfully, we knew it was something on our end where we had to fix it in our code.
It's pretty cool to see like this full project in just like 4 or 5 days. And also just one idea here, brainstorming, like if you want to move forward, we could have like some lives where it could also help you to improve your code. Like that's not part of the hackathon, but if you think like, oh, like you said, I want to remove these 4 filters that I need to do all the time, we could have a live where you go and you try to help you to refactor your code to be more like production ready. So I think we are also open to that, but it's pretty cool. Like for me, it's working really well and really good. Great job. We still have 3 minutes, more than 3 minutes. Do we have more questions? Kevin and Liz, I don't know if you have questions as well.
I think it's impressive because React DND is really hard to use. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
So are you planning to use this for the next competition?
Are we planning to use this for the next competition?
Yeah.
I feel like if I would do another competition, I would want to create a new project.
No, I meant for the robotics competition.
Oh, next robotics competition. I think this project still needs a bit of refining. Like ideally, we would want it to be able to have an overview, so we can see project boards by year. Because right now all we can do is see one single project board, and eventually this done column is going to get like insanely filled up, and that's not what we would like. But I think at the current state, if we only use it for just 1 year, then it might be like a good test run to see how it works.
Well, that will be a good feedback for you to improve the app if you want to focus on it in the future. Thank you.
Well, one nice feature that I think you could also add here, like to download all the assets. So you could create a zip file and just provide all the assets, because I suppose like maybe you want to store in a different place and then you need to open one by one and download each PDF. And it would be also nice to implement this so you can play around a little bit with Node.js and files and learn how to create a zip file. but it's a way for you to like, oh, I want to save my project, so I can just download it and even delete from this repository. You could create like a spreadsheet with the data, and inside the zip, you could put all the files there. So I think that would be a nice exercise if you want to try to do it, because it would be helpful if you want to just, oh, it's done now, but I want to store all this data, so you can just upload to Google Drive or whatever. I think that would be a nice feature to implement.
Okay. Yeah. That's something that probably passed through our minds, but I can see how useful it would be.
Okay, I think our time is almost done. Like we have just 30 seconds. So congratulations. And again, like another project that's finished and working, and it's really cool to see. Congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats, guys. Thank you. So next team is Big Brain Coders.
Hello, good morning. We're Big Brain Coders, and we'd like to present our app Animu. First, I'd like to present a video. Is it playing?
No, it's not playing. Maybe you can download it. I'm not sure why, but it's not loading.
There we go.
Oh, it's playing now, but I'm not sure if you're going to listen, but you can try. Maybe you need to capture with your microphone.
I'm going to break you up into breakout rooms, and you can go over the worksheet in
We
your small
can
groups.
listen. Yeah, we can listen.
Hey guys, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't do the reading last night. I was up really late watching the last episode of Squid Game.
Yo, I love Squid Game.
Yo, for real, bro?
Yeah, that show was pretty lit. There was another show that was kind of similar, but I don't remember.
Yeah, with all these TV shows and movies coming out on many different streaming services, it's kind of hard to keep track of which ones I really like.
Yeah, if only there was something to group all these shows together.
You guys have an Animu profile?
What's an Animu
What's an anime profile?
Here, let me show you.
Wow, that's a really sick landing page.
Yeah, and if I click anime lists, it will show me a list of over 1,000 different anime shows. The heart shows which ones I've already liked.
I love the aesthetic going on here.
Finally, I can click on my profile and it will show my avatar in the bio I made. Crazy, huh?
Wow, I love to use this app. How do I register for an account?
Well, when you get to the homepage, just click on register and fill out your name, email, username, and password, and you're ready to go.
Wow, I'm anim moved.
Hello, we are not listening. I don't know if you're speaking.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so that was
Go ahead.
Some initial challenges we faced while creating our app was trying to implement some features from one of Meteor's Atmosphere packages called Socialize, which would have included private messaging, friend requests, and user comments. With the short time span, we couldn't get it to work, so we tried to create as much as we could just from scratch as possible during the short time frame. The good thing, though, is that the Meteor publication and pub subsystem was fairly intuitive, and with the favorites feature, we noticed that changes across clients with Meteor were instantaneous without refresh. So we can definitely leverage this functionality to create a notification system for other users to react to whenever a single user will favorite or something like that. Overall, we had pretty great time working on this app as a team and ready to take any questions you may have.
First of all, like congratulations, like the presentation was really cool. And it was really nice to see like the explanation very clear. But one thing that is not like really clear for me, like I can see what others are watching. Like how is the dynamics like between people? Like I don't see this page. Like I put the heart in the one that I like, and what happens? Like where I can see what my friends are using or they are watching.
So where we ran into an issue with this, where we were able to see other people's profiles, but then we're not able to see we're able to print out to console what each person had favorited, but we were having trouble like actually displaying it on the other person's profile. So that's something where we'd like to implement given more time.
Okay, so now you can create your profile, but you can visualize others, right?
So yeah, so you can visualize other people's profiles, so you can see their image and their bio, but in terms of their actual like list of favorites, we're having trouble printing that, displaying that on the screen as well.
Okay.
Are you fetching this list from anywhere, or is this manually populated?
The list of shows.
Yeah, exactly.
So the list of shows we manually we seeded from default data we pulled from an API. So right now it's just whatever I pulled in the very beginning of the competition, but we could easily make it so that it updates. Right now, it also only shows anime. We were planning on, I think Netflix is a little, or like the Western companies are a little more stingy on their API, so we couldn't really get their show information easily available. So we'd also look into that as well.
Yeah, I know that I created a course a few years ago with Meteor where I consume an API about videos. Maybe I will post the link here because I think they have other shows there as well. So you can also check this API.
Yeah, something that I haven't seen yet. I use it to watch anime, but there's always just a wish list for anime and then a wish list for movies and other shows. And if you unify that, that would be good. I think I haven't seen anything that unifies them both.
Yeah, that's definitely something we would want to get in the next iteration.
That looks great. So can you show us some of the code?
Yeah, so let's see. I guess this is how we have a user. So this is a single user page, and then it will it subs to the user user, and then it takes their name, their image, and their ID. It matches. This match comes from the actual app when at startup. Oh, oops. So right here we take a slug, which is the user ID, and then we throw it into the that earlier component. Yeah. I guess my do my other teammates have anything they'd want to share about something they wrote? I don't really have too much.
Yeah, sure. Give me a second here.
Don't forget to unmute.
Okay, so yeah, so Eric just went over the user page, and I'll go over like the profile page, which is basically based off the same thing. Where is it here?
It's M.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, so basically we did something similar, and then we use a component, my profile, to map the information grabbed to display the profile of the current user. I had to create a filter for this. I had to grab the username of the current user and then filter out in the collection. And I can show the component here. And basically what this does is, yeah, pretty much the same thing. Just grab the props and fill them into the different tags. Yeah, that's pretty much it for my part, at least.
Yeah, so theoretically for filling out the anime list, the favorite anime list on each user profile, it's a prop. It's currently a prop under user, and we were trying to get that, like, it's an array, and we're trying to get the to find all in the anime collection that we have separate for that for each item in that array under the user. And that's kind of just where we're at right now.
Sounds good. There is quite a few things that if you ask, we can help you with to streamline the code or kind of fix the issues that you run into. For me specifically with socialized packages, that's where I kind of have been moving a lot in the community. So if you want to go forward with it, I'm at your disposal. Any more questions from the team?
Congratulations, everyone. It was really great presentation.
Yes, thank you guys. Congrats. So next team is Code Easy. Let's just see here. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me? Hi, everyone. Yeah. I just want to share my screen. Okay. I need a keynote because I had some, my English is pretty bad, so please understand this time because this is my last chance to explain, right?
Yes, but your English is very good. Like you can understand
Thank you
everything.
so much.
Don't worry.
Yeah, so I made the atmosphere package first, and there's the running the cloud service, and I think I didn't explain well how much this is needed, and so I'm gonna explain again a bit more. So I got a lot of chance to teaching some students and some kind of new developers at my college or something. So every time when I teach them, this is really great platform to teaching the students, right? Do you agree with that? Yeah, because Meteor is very simple but so powerful, so they can learn it fast and use it with the prototyping and on the production mode as well. But the problem is that for the newbies, new developer, they don't understand the file system and file uploading, the networking. That is the best hurdle when I teaching them. So, and there was great platform for the package, the media files, and I got convinced the previous time with the John and Dr. Dimitru, the owner of this package. So I'm sorry, I mentioned it before. Anyway, this platform, I really like this because this platform is really powerful. And I said it is the performance is in the worst case is the 50% of the with the normal web server, but it's the worst case because Meteor is the web application server, not a web server. So is the bad comparison. But anyway, I compared this performance and I got how can I say? I wrote some the papers and it got some award from the paper ship. So anyway, I think when new developer uses this package, it's really easy to manipulate managing their file system as well. But the problem is they didn't understand at the first time. So maybe you guys don't understand because you are well experienced developers. So, and if you didn't have any chance to teach the really students, but in my case, I think if I can make this managing upload and using the file link easy, it's going to be really helpful to learning Meteor and learning programming at the first time. So I made the package and I already built this service at my server, and I will running this cloud service for I will keep this for the students, and I want to encourage the new players to use Meteor and Meteor files. So I will keep this server. Anyway, if you sign up in here, and you will see this, you can publishing some kind of keys, and you can use these keys for this to use this package. And this is the example page, the demos. And if you upload some images to here, so the file is uploading to the service. And why is not working? Yeah, it's pretty slow because this is Germany and the server is in Korea. But yeah, this is not a permanent service, so you will understand how it's going on. So you can use this this file as a link. So you don't need to worry about the what is the file system and how to build this kind of file service in your project at the first time. Anyway, there's a limitations I will explain later. And anyway, so this is why I made this system, and this is how it's going. So when they develop the in their laptop or whatever, they build a prototyping or their service, right? And after finish their project, they will upload their cloud server. But if they didn't understand perfectly about the file system or upload and download, making a link, that kind of things, they will set up something or changing their code after the deploy their service to the cloud, their own server. So my idea is when they are developing their service, they can use this cloud service at the temporary mode, and after they deploy their service, if they success to build their own service, they can install this open sourced file service to their own service. After that, they can just change the IPs or port to their own server, and there's no need to change any code of their own service. This is the basic thing. So I want to show you how simple is the code. So this is the example. So what you saw, and you just need to do is the Meteor add the package, and then you can set up the code the key from the clouds. And after set up this, just use the package to insert a file. When we insert a file, I'm just changing the DDP connect to the cloud service. So it's very fast, but the actual physical distance I cannot solve this at this moment. If I can make the server to other countries, maybe the speed would be better. But now this would be slow a bit more. By the way, they will get the link directly after this code, so they can save this to their own MongoDB. So this is really easy. They just save the link, and they can access the file with the links. So this is my idea. They can study really easy without any concern of the file system. So yeah. So the limitation of this cloud service, if they at the first time they use this cloud, they're gonna have a limitation for the 10,000 per day for the access of the file. So if the user to using their own service, the first time is gonna be checking to use, because it's gonna be caching. So basically it's more than 10,000. So just download counting. So as you can see, if I use again, the counting is not working. Anyway, the download limits, there's no download upload limit, only a download limit for the 10,000, and they can reset the access count for the manually, because maybe sometimes they need to test more 10,000 per day. So, and they can download the dump file, dump the MongoDB dump from this cloud, and they can restore this dump file to their own service when they finish their project. So they can continuously use their file system from the develop mode and the public production mode. Yeah, actually, if they finish it to study and they are already been a good Meteor developer, they don't need this kind of things. It's only for the student or the small and middle-sized business. Maybe they don't want to how can I say, manipulating these kind of things into their small project. So it's going to be easy to use. So, and if they install and running their own standalone service for these things, there is no limitation for their own server. So it's going to be actually it's like a microservice, right? The small file service with in the Meteor world. Okay, I think, yeah, I think this is the idea.
Okay, I have like really nice and it's working as well. So it's really cool to see a bunch of projects that are working and ready to be used somehow. But I have a question for you in terms of like you are creating two things, right? You have a package that is a client to send data to a server, and you are also creating the server in a way that is open source, so people can also deploy the server and use in a different location. But my question is, what do you think about also adding like existing providers? So your package could also send files easily to S3, to Google Cloud, to whatever storage service that the user already maybe know. Because I understand your approach, like a very simple approach for beginners, but maybe if you extend the same package to also communicate with different providers, would be nice. Like we have for the package, the email package, for example, that you just improved some things there. And you have a few services that you can just use Node Mailer. So very easily you can send files to different providers as well. What do you think about this? Or that's not your idea? Or you think for other providers, the solution is already enough that you have in packages?
I don't think I understand precisely, but after they need something the advanced mode, they can accept. They can build their own file service. This is only for the student and the prototyping model, and the small business they can use maybe Google service or AWS or the other cloud service. I don't know.
Because my question was like your package can be used also to send files to existing providers. Like you can keep your server for students, but if I want to use your server for like a professional application and I don't want to, I don't want to like to host my own server of files, I want to use S3, but I could use the same code, you know, like the same API that you show like files.insert, and this would going to insert to AWS S3 service instead of your service. It's just one idea that I think you could improve the use cases for your package. It's just like an idea. We don't need to like to answer it specifically, but it's just that that would be helpful for everybody.
Yeah, maybe I missed the things, and actually we can change the URL, something IPs and something. If we offer these kind of things, we can change the server, right? But yeah, maybe that point would be the one of the.
Yeah, you can, for example, if the user put a URL for a S3 bucket from AWS, you could automatically already detect, oh, this is S3 bucket, so I can just go ahead.
No, I don't use the S3
to
bucket. Okay, now I understand. Maybe I don't use
the
S3
you could
bucket. I use the MongoDB bucket. Yeah.
Yeah, but you could have like multiple providers. That's the idea. Including S3 buckets.
Yeah, this is not the case. What I concern. Yeah, if they want, they can import the media files on their own, and they can change it. It's really easy. Actually, this is really easy. But so that would be I cannot solve that kind of advanced mode in this case. I just only concern for the really new players. So yeah, I didn't concern about it.
Okay, we still have 1 more minute for questions. Do anyone has comments or questions?
Really like it. As was mentioned, you know, it's for new people starting with this, which I think it's super easy, that they don't have to concern themselves with all the file uploads, which can be super tedious. So very much like it, and I think this is this is the first package that we have. So nice job.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Nice
Thank
work.
you and congrats. So next team is Cocoa. Let me just give you panelists.
Hi, can everyone see me?
Yep.
Yes.
Just let me adjust my camera for really quickly. Here, sorry. Let me share my screen. Here we go. So we are Team Cocoa. The Cocoa meaning is the coronavirus plus Cocoa meaning is rainbow. Meaning we want to fight this coronavirus and we want to go out and hang out with people, but in a safe way. That if user create the events, they can actually go to our website and approve person who are safely vaccinated or not. Let me introduce our web page. Let me go to, sorry. Let's sign up first. And you can just create, you can just click here, register. And I'm gonna register with my email. 1, 2, 3, 4. Save. Oops, sorry. And then here we can create events. Say we want to go surfing, surfing day, surfing Tuesday. And you can choose dates on event day and location, maybe Waikiki.
It's a surfing Tuesday in a Friday, right? That's cool.
Yeah.
It's just a joke. Go ahead.
Location is Waikiki. Well, let's hang out. And if there is cost, you can choose either like a sign, dollar signs, and you can actually upload image through Amazon Web Service. I use the Lambda service and S3 to get the links, and you have 30 seconds to upload image and stuff. And quickly submit. And here you can go to my events. Then you can see all your events. Oh, this is default comments, but you can go to edit and you can change your, let me change my image. There we go. Here's the image that shows. And you can go to all events and you can pre-check your symptoms, and if you're vaccinated, you can add the vaccine card to comments that if someone joins the event and everyone can see who vaccinated and who's not vaccinated. Oh, I don't have vaccine card, but I'll just upload any, say this is the vaccine card. You can choose how's your mood today. It's great. Vaccine status, I am vaccinated. Leave a comment, I'm excited to join this event. And you can submit here. Then you can see there's comments below, and image is not showing, but when you refresh, it actually shows at the bottom like this. And there is another page for admin. Quickly sign into admin page, admin account. In this account, you can go to admin page, and you can approve person who has commented below previously. And oh, this person is vaccinated. I see the vaccine card. Let's say this is a vaccine card, and I see the vaccine card. Okay, that's good. And let's say we approve. Then you can see that that person has been approved here, so that everyone know that this person is safely vaccinated, and we can go to event with them. And there's another functionality that can make users admin. So let's say I just create my account here, and you say make it admin, then yes. Then this person has privilege to approve people who has commented below. Let's go back to my account. Then here, this person can see all the events again from the admin page. But this person doesn't have any authority to make others admin, because this person is not super user. But only one super user can make people an admin. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, this is our website. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Another full app that's also working, and it's nice because like I am in the US right now, like everywhere I need to show my ID and my vaccination card. Would be nice if I could like pre-upload the files and they could check somehow and just approve me. I don't know.
Yes.
No, in a expedite way, but it's really good. Any
Thank you.
questions?
Yeah, I have a question for the adding admins. And did you just do that yourself, or did you use any package to help you with the roles management?
Oh, yeah, I used the role aligning role package. I use that. I can show you the code actually.
Sure.
I use method, Meteor method to. Oh, where is method? Oh yeah, Meteor method to. In the server, they using method to make user admin like this. Meteor method here. And then here is a make admin.
We are still seeing
I don't think
the page, not the code.
I'm sorry?
We are seeing just
we are
the
still
page.
seeing the browser and not your ID.
Oh.
Like you're seeing the browser. Yeah. Maybe you didn't share the full screen, just the browser.
Okay. Yeah, just 1 second. Do you see the code?
Yeah, now we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, here is a method. And I made a make admin and remove admin functionality. And if this the request user is super admin, then I can upload target ID to admin like this. And I can actually call function, Meteor function, make admin. And this, like this is kind of like looking kind of junky, but it actually works. Make admin function call, and there's a user ID. And if it's full, and we send the error message to user, are you sure you have admin role? And if it's success, then yeah, the user is admin now. And Yeah, any other questions?
Can you hear
Anything
me?
else you would like
No?
to share with us
Now we
with your
can.
code?
Okay. Yeah. Just one question. Is this app deployed to Galaxy? Because I'm seeing that you are running locally.
Yes, product on where?
It's on Galaxy deployed.
The deployed version, I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't actually deploy. Yeah, this is only demo version. I mean, it's only working on my computer, but I can publish it to Meteor hosting.
Yeah, it's good to publish so we can access while we are judging it. So it's just Meteor deploy, select any subdomain .meteorapp.com --free -mongo, and it should
Oh
be
yeah,
ready.
I didn't know it's required. Sorry.
No, but it's okay. You still have time to do it, but just deploy after the presentation so you can check it out later. Okay.
Okay, will do. Any other questions?
I think you're
Anything
good.
else?
And yeah,
Go ahead, Felipe.
congratulations. It was really good. And I think this is actually really helpful because people want to know if everybody has like the vaccination and everything. So it's a nice project. I hope you can use this in the university or to have some meetings with friends. I think that's cool.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Thank you. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
So next team is Daj, DAAJ. Okay, 1 second.
Hi, can you hear me? Yeah, okay, and I think we
Yes.
also have 2 other team members. I'm not sure if you see them, Abdullah and Jolie. I'm gonna start sharing my screen while I wait for them. Okay. Oh, I see they're going on. Okay, cool, awesome. So our original idea for our app was to create a Hangout app for friends, a little similar to the last group, but on our side, we're going to focus more on contact tracing so that we can see like, so that people can keep track of who they've been in contact with for the past 2 weeks, because, you know, most people are not going to think like, oh yeah, last week, Tuesday, I hung out with this person, you know, keep track of who they were in contact with. So this should help with safety during COVID times, but also allow people to have social interaction. Okay, so this is Proximy, and this is our landing page, and we're gonna log in now. Or not log in, I'm gonna click here to make a new account. Let's do purple. Okay, so this creates a new account to go in. And this is the profile page. So every single person has a profile page. And as you can see, there's a calendar. Jolie, do you want to talk a little more about the calendar?
Yeah, so the calendar is a click and draggable component. Once you click the redo your availabilities button, you can click and drag your availability. So this is just a time that you will be free. So you can let others know what time you can be available to meet up.
Yeah.
And there's also an interest tracker. Basically, you can input your interests as well as edit them later on if you need to.
Yeah, and then so in this area, we can see like which groups you've joined and then who you've been contacted with and your interests. But obviously, so right now there's none of these because you haven't done that because you're a new user. So we're gonna do that by creating a new group. Okay, so we'll create a new group called Sunlight, and the description is what I randomly typed, and it'll be on this side. So we can see that Purple has joined a group called Sunlight. And then we're gonna go into this group to see the group interface. Abdullah, do you want to say what parts are on this screen?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, so you can invite more people with that group code in the top right. So that's the ID for this group. And then, we'll show this later, right? If you send it to someone and they click join group, they can input that and then they can join this group. And then they'll be listed in the members. So you see right now it just says purple, but it'll add whoever joins. In the bottom right is the rules. So this is the Hawaii guidelines for COVID. And our app right now, it checks if a Hangout has too many people, and it stops you from submitting the form. It's supposed to warn you, but there's a small bug with it where it just completely stops you, but maybe that's better anyway. And then in the top left, there's availabilities. Jolie, do you want to talk about that, Jolie or Alicia?
Oh yeah,
so on that.
So now that we have the code, Jolie's gonna share her screen. So I gave her the code already. You didn't see through, and so she's gonna share her screen showing her user signing in and joining this group.
All right. So I've already created my own user account with my own username. So I've already put up my availability as well. So to join a group, all you need to do is copy and paste the group code, press join. And so it'll automatically update here. And so see the list of members has updated to include me as well. And also now the days that people are available are now marked green on the calendar. You can also click a certain date and select availability. So unfortunately, only purple will be available at this time. Okay, so for this one too, only purple or me, only purple. Purple, totally see it. Okay.
I don't think there's any overlap. But yeah, so I mean, you would find the overlap, and I think it's only 8 a.m. Purple can only hang out at 8 a.m.
Okay. Purple is
early, early bird.
Yeah, very early waker. Right. Okay. So let's see, 20. Yeah, there we go. And we can just add a name and a description. Oh, let me refresh that. Oh, sorry, let me do that one more time. Okay. Okay, right. So sorry about that. I don't know why it did not go through the first time. So yeah, their scheduled hangouts will now list here. And if you go back to profile, it should now add purple to be one of the people I've recently contacted.
Yeah, and then finally, yeah, Abdullah will share his screen to show what happens when there's a group who tries to hang out over 10 people. Sorry, a little screen sharing off and on, but
okay. So here I am on this account, and I'm in this group Daj, and this group has a lot of people in it. I think it's 12 people. And then if we go to select an availability, and then this is like almost everyone in the group, it's over 10 people because that's what the guidelines said for Hawaii. If we try to create a hangout, and we try to submit it, it's going to stop us. Oh, well, it's supposed to pop up an alert, but since we made the page refresh when you submit, it's wigging out a little, but it popped up an alert saying you have too many people, and then it says you can, if you press submit again, you can create the hangout. So it warns you, but it still allows you to create it. But yeah, just a small bug with what we were doing right before we finished.
Yeah. So that's basically what we did the last 5 days to help people able to, get social interaction during these tough times, but at the same time help them do it in a safe manner because they can track the people they've been in contact with for the past 2 weeks. Yeah, thank you. Also, Jen, I see you you put the link and a code in there, creating a Meteor group. Nice. Any questions?
Congratulations. I don't have questions at this time. You have questions? Yeah, Rena, Denise, Kevin.
Can you show a bit of the code, like how you did the calendar and everything else?
Sure. Let me show mine. Yeah. So here's the code. So the calendar was a package, or the calendar on the like for scheduling your availabilities is one package, and then the one on the group page is another package. So the one on the profile page is from one of these. Oh, this one. This is from this calendar, and this is one of the tough parts we had because we had a difficult time figuring out how you could both choose the your availability and also display the ones you had before. And in the end, we couldn't really get that to work because of like this current state. So and also I couldn't really figure it out. So we separated it, but that part is how that works. And then on the group page, we're using this package. And then Jolie, I don't know, you want to say a little bit of how you implemented that?
All right. So, we didn't really want to reinvent the wheel. So, we found some good NPM packages that were able to, that had a good calendar user interface. However, all of the functions for finding availability, saving availabilities, and finding matching matching availabilities of other group members were made by us for this for around this package.
Yeah. And I guess we also I'm not sure, but we did have we got it to work, but I guess we had a lot of collections because we kind of did a relational database. So I'm guessing, what would be your guys' advice, right? We're just like, okay, go to this, like the intermediate table, find that, and then go to the next one. Like, what is your guys' advice to like solve that kind of problem? Don't you?
Yeah, since you are coming from relational database, think about denormalization when going to document. That's kind of the start, and then think of it more of let's say the classical JavaScript objects.
And you have like the same relationship. You can create like the idea of any to one to any, using like the IDs, then you save the ID, but you don't have the concept of like forage key. So you don't have this restricted in the database, but you basically can create the same concept. And also in the publications, you can also use packages to compose publications together. So I have a package that's called publish composed, where you can get like the first one, and then you receive the first object that you retrieve in a second call. For example, like you can get the group, and then you can get the people in the group in the second call using this package, and you can publish everything in the same publication. So this is the idea how you can have like reactive data in the client, like using like basically the same idea of a join in SQL, but without writing the join, you just do different calls. And the last option is also to use aggregation. So MongoDB provides aggregation that is basically the same thing as joins, as like these custom queries that you can create, but in a different way. But you do the same, like you do projection, you can cross the fields. So like we have different ways to think, but in the end, like the solution is not that different. Just the way to express the code is a little bit different.
Yeah, that's great to know. I was like, I'm sure there's another way, but I was like, in 5 days, I only know relational databases. But yeah, definitely check that out for our next project on Meteor.
Yeah, but definitely like in SQL, I think I would say it's a little bit easier to do these joins relationships. But in general, like I prefer MongoDB because it's more flexible. So you can just store a bunch of objects. You don't need to declare the columns in advance and everything. So it's a little bit more flexible. But I think to create relationships a little bit more loose. So you need to make decisions. It's not like just a single way to do it.
Yeah. That's that's good to know. Yeah. And then so any other questions about like how we implemented and then while you're thinking about it, so right now the subscription and publication system is like if you're part of that group, then you can see that person's like membership and like availability. So that's how we work that part out. But yeah, any other questions, thoughts, concerns?
No question. I just wanted to make a quick comment about how I think this is super useful for not only just like personal use, but for a lot of industries as well, with contact tracing, from like events to like weddings and stuff. So yeah, just from like a practical standpoint, I think this is a really great idea. You guys did a good job here.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. I think because mainly because, if people are starting to think about like, okay, we're just gonna start hanging out, in my pitch, we're talking about how like 55% of people are starting to resume like going back to normal. If they're not tracking who they've been with, that could, potentially cause more breakouts. So this could help with, figuring out who they've been in contact with. Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, okay. So I guess I'm Abdullah or Jolie. Do you guys have any last thoughts? I think.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did you have anything?
No, I made a hangout on the Meteor group.
Nice. Come on, join us, guys.
Yeah, this was well, yeah, we had 4 members and all of us, this was our first hackathon. So thank you for being our first.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was cool.
Awesome.
Cool experience.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Nice work.
Okay, next team is Team Hakamino.
I'm just waiting on 2 more members.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me? All right, I'm gonna share my screen. Yeah, screen 2. Yeah. Can you see my screen? Okay. Anna, can you take it away?
All right, I have so many tabs open this morning, but hello everyone. I hope you're doing great. My name is Anna and I am working with Jerome, Daphne, Michael, and Timothy, and we're students at University of Hawaii. In many communities, there is a lack of information about the real threats to our ecosystems and environmental awareness among the public. There are people who want to contribute, but not many people know about the existing efforts, like nonprofit organizations, and ways to be involved in the community. So we created Hakamino. Hakamino is a web application designed to help communities team together to educate and address real threats to our ecosystem and increase environmental awareness among the public. Our application's goal is to build a community, host and attend events, connect with people through forums, and accumulate points for participating. Registered users will be notified through real-time notifications and can view their notifications when they are signed into the application. For new users to sign up, the user will be prompted with a form that asks for their first name, last name, email address, password, zip code, and a short bio about themselves. The zip code will connect them to their local community in the app. To sign in, registered users will be prompted to enter their email and password, which redirects them to their profile. On the profile page, they are able to customize their information. This is where the points are accumulated for doing the following things. They will get 200 points for creating an event, 20 points for going to an event, 3 points for reporting trash, 2 points for every reply on their own post, a half a point for replying to a post. Points for events are verified by a code that is given out at events so that they're not reused and they will expire. They will submit it and will be automatically added to their points. Registered users can organize events such as cleanups and workshops, report trash or needed assistance, as well as promoting other nonprofit organizations around the area. Our goal is to become a one-way stop for people who want to contribute but don't know where to start.
All right, so to create an event, you can go to the add event page. Here, you need to fill out the title, type of cleanup. So we have cleanup or workshop, date, time start and end time, contact information, and then a description about your cleanup or workshop. Okay, and then also location, as well as we require a marker. So you can just type in your address and it will zoom into that area to where your event will take place. Now, on top of having an address, having a marker helps other users indicate where they're going to meet up at a specific location. This can help with safety and as well as confusion for new users, such as if they haven't been there before, and it gives more information about how to meet the event organizer. So once you hit submit, the user can go to the events page and go to their own events. As an owner, you have the ability to edit and delete events. However, right now it hasn't been approved yet, so it's not showing up in the public pages. So to go to approve events, it's on admin side, so admins will review the events to either decline or approve of it. So going to the approve events page, admins can review the event and change the status of the event, as well as have a feedback to communicate with the creator of the event. And you can see on the left side, there'll be a notification that the event has been changed. And you can see that now the status has been approved, as well as their feedback. And as mentioned before, you get 200 points after creating an event. So now you can go to the all events page to view the just created event. And if you scroll down, you can see your event that you just created. That says cleanup. And you can see that the status and feedback, meaning that it's your event. So moving up, just scrolling up a little bit, the Google Map presents different events around the island. So orange markers are workshops and yellow markers are cleanups, as well as we have red markers, which is reports, which we will go over later on. You can click on the different markers to learn more about information, as well as join and leave events. Google Map API comes with additional features similar to the regular Google Maps, where users can change how they view the map. So going to satellite mode, as well as going to the person icon to view the surrounding area of the event. So this promotes safety and lessens confusion when trying to participate for the first time. And you can also plan ahead before going to the event. Now let's go to a different account. to see the interaction between joining and leaving events. So on a second browser, you can go and join to a default account, user account. And you can go to the event that we just created. And for that user, you can join it. So you can see that the participation goes up, and then on the left side, the owner of the event will get a notification as well. So on top of creating events, users can report trash or assistance. So like similar to adding events, users will need to require a title, description, location, and then also similar to the events, you need a marker. And you can upload a photo of the trash as well, or of the needed assistance. Okay, and then once you created a report, you can go back to the events page, and you can see by like the red markers that those are events. And by clicking on them, you can view the images as well as the more information about it. And scrolling down, you can as well, other users can adopt the site. So you can scroll down on the report, and you can add or adopt this cleanup. Now this creates a cycle in the community where users can report trash assistance, and other users can adopt the site and gather help in the community. This is very helpful maybe after natural disasters, where having an organized platform like this can help people gather together at a specific area of need and gain more information about the surroundings.
Alrighty then.
Another key
Anna?
feature in Hakamino is the ability to communicate with other registered users through forums. To create a forum, a user can click on the tab that will redirect them to fill out the title, the content of their forum, and apply tags that relate to their forum. The user can view all forums from the forum tab. By clicking on it, they can see the thread, and another user can reply to it. And then it will be applied on this side, and they also will get the real-time notification. To ensure that all forms are safe and appropriate, in the future, we're planning to add a delete function where the admin user has the power to delete any post. We found that there is a risk of security, so we do want to implement something like that.
Alrighty then, so the last thing, or moving on to the resources page, users can view and visit helpful links and nonprofit organizations around their area. Users are able to learn about these organizations and try to find what fits or best fits their needs or interests. Currently, this is under some construction. In the future, we are planning to make it where admin users in different parts of the world have the ability to add and recommend nonprofit organizations around their area.
For this hackathon, our main focus is Hawaii. However, this application will be reusable in any location that may not have organizations around the area that organize these events. There will be the same functionality, but different location and motivated people running the site. And with Google Maps, you can change the focus location in matters of minutes. Our vision is to have multiple instances of this application running at the same time and hopefully build many communities along the way.
Our goal for Hakamino was not only to build a platform to help the environment, but to also educate the next generation through the workshops and through the community forums. After this last year, we all deserve to feel connected to a community as before. Thus, our hopes are that this can rebuild these bonds. Together as a whole, we hope that this initiative will provide the environmental awareness that the public needs and opportunities to protect the ecosystem that we depend on. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. It was really good, and you have implemented a bunch of features, and they seem to be working really nicely. So congratulations. I don't think I have any questions. The presentation was very clear, but Rena,
I do have some feedback. Like I really like this idea of reporting trash and things that need community help. But I think this is something that you could really benefit from a mobile app. Like I like the idea of being on the street and I see some trash and I can take a photo and even like send that to the local community, and someone that has a pickup can help picking the trash and cleaning the streets, something like that, or even get that to the government that they can do something about it. I really like that idea, but I think a Cordova app or a mobile app would be more fit for this feature.
On that
Hey, and
note,
if you didn't watch, like Rena did a workshop on Monday about how to send push notifications with Cordova and Meteor. So you should watch the recording because it's easy to add this feature. So it can be more like helpful in a way that you can receive notifications in real time, even if the app is not open at the moment. Go ahead, yeah.
yeah, and on the note of location, there is also an official MDG package geolocation that was recently updated. That can be used for this, not just on Cordova, but also on the browser as well. And with that, unless there are no more questions, I kind of also want to ask if you want to share with us some code and some of your troubles or joys in creating this app.
First,
Yeah,
Jerome
sure.
can pull up
Yeah,
our
let me
source
share
code.
some code.
Now, I think what took us the longest was the notifications.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daphne and Michael worked on the notifications because it involved very like tunnel focus. It was a lot for them. So this is the collection. You can go a little bit slower, Jerome. Just let them look at it.
Another trouble for me was implementing the Google API. So when I was like building it, I didn't have the API key at first. So I just had Google Maps everywhere on every page. If you see like by the filters, like filter by only cleanups, only workshops, I would just have renders of Google Maps. But after putting the API key, you can only render one map per page. So I had to like rechange all my code, and I had an idea of just like passing in the filtered collections to the Google map, but then React wouldn't have like real-time changes. So I was just left of just putting the Google map only there on one page, and also the forms as well, like adding events, adding collections, adding like on a separate page as well. So I think that was one of the biggest challenges for me for this project.
Another small challenge we had that was, it's not too big, but at Hawaii, we've been using Semantics UI, and we decided to switch over to Bootstrap for the hack. And it was just a short amount of time to learn how Bootstrap works. So we were all like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? And it took a bit to get used to it, but we got used to the UI quickly. It was definitely not meant to learn in one day. Do you want to show the Google code?
I think we just ran out of time. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Like, but it was
Next
good
time.
because your presentation was long because you had to like to show a lot of features. So it was for a good reason that we are run out of time. Okay, but it was
great.
really good. It was really good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Congrats. So next team, we have Lampstack.
Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
And you guys can see my screen? Hi, so our name is Lampstack, and we're working on our application is Event Finder. This is our login, well, our homepage where you first sign up or log in. You can sign up with the sign up button here. And since, well, you need to put in your email, your username and password in order to sign up. But I already have an account, so I'll just sign in. So this is what you see after you logged in. It encourages you to go to the Events tab and find or create an event. And this is our Events tab. Here you can see all the events that our users created. It can be either online or offline, and it has different tags to show what is it relate to. You can join events by pressing buttons. If I want to join this basketball match, I could simply press join. And if I want to filter out events online, offline, I could simply use the filter here. And let's say I want to join a online event. I can filter online event and join an online event. There's also a filter by search by tag. So if I am interested in studying, I can filter study. This works for, if I'm looking for multiple tags, I could also do multiple tags, such as say sports. Sorry. And yep. So I don't have multiple tags that could use filtering, but if you type in two filters, it'll search any events that have both, well, not both, but one of each. So, and you can look at your events that you've joined in here. You can choose to leave if you decide to opt out for personal reasons or whatever. And you could also create events here. You will need event title, a date, a location, and some information. You could also add your own tags here. So let's say we want to create a table tennis match. Just put it here. Yeah, 12 p.m. And say, we'll put address, some description. Let's put tags. Say, table tennis. Say offline event. And let's say we already have 3 persons participating in the event and we need 1 more. We can show that here. We can create. And on our side, you wouldn't be able to see it because it's an event that we created. So you wouldn't be joining your own events. You can see the events you created in here. And if I were to sign out and sign into another account, we can see our events here, and we can join it. After we join the event, it also disappears from this tab. And we can see that we joined it here. For the events that we created, we can also edit after the fact if the time change. Let's say we want to change this to 3 instead. Simple as that. And the filter also prevents any events with enough people from showing up here. So if you already get the amount of people they need, other users wouldn't be able to join. And that is about all the feature we have for our application. Yeah, we can also remove events that we created. And this members tab also shows the owner with the green color and other people who join in a teal color. And that's all we have.
Really good. Thank you. Questions?
So before we go to the code, what are some of the features that you struggled with, and what are some of the features that you did not have time to implement?
Well, our focus is to get people to explore and join events that they have, interest in, or they want to try out some new things. So we remove the feature where it automatically filter by the tag you choose on your profile, because we really want to push people to go outside of their comfort zone and to look at some new events that they might be interested in. And so we really want to focus on the aspect of just joining events and trying things out. And this is why we got to the page here. And we couldn't implement geolocation because we could use the geolocation package to get the longitude and latitude no problem. What I was having trouble with is reverse geolocating, using that longitude and latitude and returning a position for the user. So I spent a bit of time working on that, but ultimately I gave up and I focused on the filter feature.
Nice. Do you want to show us some code or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. Here we have a event card, and it's just React, some semantic UI React, and here we have a function that here we have a function that highlights the owner in green instead of teal. And on our events page, we have events page is here. We have a bunch of underscore filters that filters the events that is owned by you, filters events that has you as a member, so you don't double join events, and it also filters out events that have already have enough members. And this is the toggle for the offline and online filter, and this is the search bar filter. It's a lot of underscore function that sometimes get a little confusing, and I aim to do it better if I'm given a chance.
Yeah, I think the GitHub repository you don't need underscore will be your friend.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, guys. It was really nice to see also another complete application fully working. Really cool. And I don't know why. I think it's the effect of after COVID or almost after COVID that I have many apps like relate to events to try to meet
Yeah,
people.
I'm
So
very surprised at how much really similar apps is out there. But I think
yeah,
it's
but
good to
it's
have
good.
competitions. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Lampstack. So next team is NVL.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool. Let me share my screen. 1 second. Screen share. Okay. Just a second. I need to prepare this. I'm sorry, I was in the middle of something. Okay. I created it. It is running also in the cloud. I will show that on my local because I will need to do some changes in the code and scaffolding things and things like that. But what I created, I created a project that it is an admin that allows you to rapidly start whatever project you want. By default, it comes with users. It will list the users and allows you to create a new user and define a couple of roles. Okay, and then you send it. An email arrives here with the data. But the interesting thing is that you can scaffold very quick a new model, database table or a collection, and all the methods and schema and publication for that model. It is very easy. If you don't do anything, the code to do that, it's called in the scaffolding directory, and it accepts some parameters. But if you don't do anything, it will create a collection called cars, default collection, with several fields that you can use that are there to show the kind of capabilities or features that it supports. I don't know, Volkswagen 8500, 4 tires. It doesn't make too much sense, but it's only to show the different kind of fields that it supports. It also supports like a foreign key. I know that in Mongo it's not that the concept, but still you can have references to another table. In this case, it's for the user table. And also you can even have more than support to one-to-many references to another table. So you can just create the car, and then you can come here and see the list of cars, and you will see, sorry, I will move that. And you will see all the data that is already in the database. You can just delete something. It will still be here a little bit gray, but you can just remove with the include delete, show or not show. And of course, you can go and edit whatever and mark as delete or not, 5 tires, I don't know, submit and update. Okay, now I will show you how all these things are done, I will create a new model minus help. Just a second to get minus m. Let's call it task. And the plural will be tasks, so no need for do that. And now if I go to the recently created, just a second, we have here the models. UI for models tasks. Here you will see the created schema. By default is the one that I show in the cars example, but let's say that the task has a title, due date, and an owner ID. Okay. So you need to modify the file. You will need to modify 3 files. One is the schemas, the most important. The second one is the types, that is it's used for TypeScript. It's not really mandatory, but things will not work in TypeScript. Just a second. So we have title, due date, and owner ID. Okay, and the other thing that you might need to modify is the config file that is for the foreign keys. Okay, just a second, I will remove the owner ID, and instead of that, done, that is Boolean, and here also done, that is Boolean. What's wrong here? It's moving this way. Moving this way. Okay, and the config, there will be no foreign key in this case. Now, after refreshing, we have here the tasks. Okay, and I will just create a new entry. I don't know, something, due date 22, and I can set done or not, submit. It was created, and here in the list of tasks, I see the one that I just create. I can edit this, something missed, something else, I don't know, and let's mark it as done. Then list, and that's it, more or less. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Rafa. We already discussed a little bit early today about your project in the workshop, but yeah, Rena, Denilson, Kevin, do you have questions for Rafa?
Yeah, I would like to suggest a link that called the Yale Woman. I've used that to generate and scaffold things. It's like a framework for scaffolding, so it might be of use for you.
Yeah, I use Human, but not in Meteor. I used for another project in Java, actually, several years ago. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea to use Human. I didn't think about that. Anyway, after talking with Felipe, there are some things that I need to evaluate, maybe going more on a package way instead of scaffolding, or part scaffolding, part not. I'm not sure about that. Maybe if going in a package support Flow Router and Blaze, Surely I need to support other account-related packages, passwordless, OAuth, etc. I wrote here several things that I need to do, or that bugs, or something like that. Currently, there are two bugs that I am aware of. The first one is that if you just create one, but do not select the Boolean one, then you need to select and then unselect. That's a bug I'm having. And the second one was related to selecting multiple foreign keys that doesn't always do what you want. It's like the click is, I don't know, I need to check the bus code in what's happening. And that's it. I can show you the code, the last thing. The code. The user-related code is here in imports API users. Okay, most of it is here, and in the admin users. Okay, that's all the users collection related code. It's using Bolt, that is admin UI. I don't know. I found it several. I already used that in other projects, so that's the reason I selected it. And all the scaffolding and things like that is here in the scaffolding directory. You have the models and the UI. So if at some point you decide that you would like all your edit or create pages to have, I don't know, something, a different class name, you can just come here and write it here, and all the scaffolding that you do from now on will have this class or this class name for here too. Okay. What? That's it.
Any other questions, comments for Rafa?
Just want to comment, this is the second, say, strictly technically focused project for Meteor, and especially doing something this complex is pretty impressive, doing in these couple of days. So, you know, kudos for, you know, getting where you gotten in such a short time, and looking forward, you know, sharing this with the rest of the community.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
It's really impressive in this short time. Yeah. Thank you, Rafa. And it was an amazing job. Let's see. We hope you proceed with this and the community can benefit from this generator in the next months.
That's the plan. I will open it at some point when it is more mature.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rafa.
Thank you.
So next team we have is Octogroup.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay. So let's see. Just gonna share my screen. So our initial, sorry, I'm Jason Kulka from the Octogroup. And for our initial idea, we wanted to do something with like bookmarks, you know, because like we collect bookmarks. There are some bookmarks, you know, that we go to daily, some websites we go to daily. And there's some bookmarks, you know, we just collect them because it's like you add them. It's like, oh, I'm going to check it later. And then, you know, you kind of forget about it and it just keeps piling up. But, you know, I started to figure that there's really, as the hackathon started, there's not really much we can do with bookmarks. So kind of change it to cooking recipes instead. But our main idea is still still the same. We want to be able to be able to show like those recipes that the user uses, daily, that they go to, their go-to recipes basically when they want it. And there's also the recipes that they've collected that, that they might have like thought about trying, but, it kind of just leaves their mind as they're, as they get busy and stuff like that. And cooking's been getting kind of, at least home cooking, it's been kind of important, especially since like the pandemic started, as people need to like become more self-reliant. So this is our way of like fixing that need. It's like a way for users to collect recipes, because they come from a bunch of different sources. Come from physical sources, come from cookbooks, they come from online sources, just like web pages. They could come in form of YouTube videos. And this is a way for them to just put it all together in one place. So, we can register, we can sign in. I'm John at food.com. And, one way to like sort through like the type of recipes that they want to check when they, when you get onto the website is whether they've tried it and whether they haven't tried it yet. So it's like, if, I'm tired, I come home, I want to try something that I've already tried, I'll check the you tried section, the carousel. If I feel like I want to try something new, I'm going to do the you haven't tried yet, And so, let's see. So, sorry. One of the, so we want users to, so if they've decided on like a recipe they want to try, they can check the recipe page, and it's going to have the recipe, the ingredients, the instructions. It's going to have a, description about the recipe. It's also going to have tags that the user has assigned to the recipe. So if it's like something easy, it's going to have an easy tag. And then if, the user decides they want to edit the recipe, they can enter like the edit recipe page. And then there's also an embed that they can add. So if they add an embed, the recipe is going to have a video that they can open. It's not for the same recipe, but it's just for them, to just an easy way for them to view video if it's a recipe of in video form, just a way for them to see that. And when they've decided that, when they have to try the recipe, they can mark it as has tried. So this would be the pinto bean chili. Mark it as has tried, and then it's going to show up as has tried. Sorry, I can't see it. Yeah, there we go. It's over here, and if you've tried. Yeah. I think that's what we've have so far. Any questions?
It's very good, and it looks good. And I also have a question. Like, it's possible to share a recipe, or the recipe is just like visible for my users, for my user?
Okay, so so that's something that I wanted to implement, but I kind of just passed out on the first day. So I kind of had to just focus it on just the personal user, just what they have. What I wanted to do was, just to find a way to populate the type of recipes they have, other than just like adding new recipes manually like this. Is like, I want to have friends, they also cook. And, if they have an account, I want to be able to go to their user page. And we kind of had it, but we didn't have time to really implement it because we wanted the focus to be around, around the recipes themselves first, get it working. We wanted like a button, just a button to like add someone else's recipe to your own list
Yes,
but
because
yeah.
like my wife and I really enjoy cooking, especially her. I enjoy more eating than cooking, but and it's very common that I say, oh, we are going to try this at home because we are traveling a lot. So we always say like, oh, we are going to try this at home, but then later, as you said, we just forget it. So you don't try it because you have other things to do. So what was that recipe? Like we don't remember anymore. So I think it's a
Yeah.
really nice idea. Yeah, to collect
Yeah,
the
because
recipes there.
I make the same 3 dishes every time, but I still consume like recipes and stuff like that. But it doesn't like stick. I need some place to put it, you know? So that's where the idea comes from. And yeah.
Yeah, one thing that could be nice as well would be to send a reminder like every week or every 15 days, like, oh, you didn't cook any new recipe in the last 15 days, so you should try something new. Because I think that's where you can start to have some benefits. Like, because if you just have a list, you can use any to-do list. But if you start to have like these reminders and specific like tips about recipes and way to share recipes, then people, okay, now it makes sense to use an app just for recipes because I have some customization. It's not just a huge to-do list. So it's nice as well to try to personalize more the experience specifically for recipe. And just don't forget to deploy your app because I see that you're
Oh,
providing
yeah.
for localhost. Just deploy your
Right.
app after the presentation.
It's deployed right now, but I'm just doing localhost just for convenience.
Okay. It's okay.
I don't have any questions specifically, more so feedback along the lines of what Felipe was saying, but I think the possibilities here are pretty endless when it comes to customization. So even from like a rating system or favorites, meal prepping for like a Monday to Friday for convenience sake, or even for like kids' lunches for school and stuff. So yeah, I think this is a really good idea, and there's a lot of room to branch out and really customize this to make it something quite large and quite useful for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, I've like, I mean, sorry. The main idea was like just how they interact with the recipes, like allow the users to ask themselves, so what does this recipe mean to me? Is this something that's important to me? Is this something I want to try? And then if I try it and it's not good, I can just delete it. I can just say goodbye to this. But one of the things that I think there's a lot of, I guess, like openings for is like just the way that people can, or whoever takes this idea, can populate the user's feed with recipes. Because it could be just like, just between friends, I get my friends' recipes in the feed, or it could be just like cooks that want to send out recipes and people can subscribe to the feed and stuff like that. There's just a lot of ways to go, but I kind of just had to work with what I had so far.
Definitely, it's still a really, really good idea.
All right, thank you. Is there anything else?
We still have a few minutes if we have more questions. Do we? No more questions, but it was really great. I really love food. So everything about food, you have my thumbs up. Thank you.
Right.
Nice work.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Octogroup. All right, so next team we have is Suaveware.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me fine?
Yes.
Yeah. This is our app, Arvory. It's a repository for educational content. I'll actually read it. An ever better and growing educational content repository powered by its community. You can add videos.
We are not
articles,
seeing our screen
classes.
because.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, let me start again. I am actually a little bit nervous. Let's go. It's an ever better and growing educational content repository. You can add videos, articles, exercise diagrams, anything. And we have two examples here. One for a course of computer science and one for the documentation of our application. pretend you're a developer and you start contributing to our app, you could start here. So let's see computer science first. This is our homepage. Let's go. When you access a curriculum, this is the computer science curriculum, you'll have a description and a lot of courses, disciplines you can study. These are examples: discrete mathematics, calculus 1, for example, introduction to computation. When you access one of those subjects, you have access to a lot of content that people saw, they put it here, they upvoted. The upvote isn't working because I'm not logged in, so you can't upvote. But of course, you could ask the person to create an account. It's just not implemented yet. And you see a description, and you actually can contribute with more content. So if I click here, I do need an account to add more content. Let's do this. I'll create an account. This is, let's say, student@meteor.com, and the password, ultra secret password, sign up. And of course, for now, it doesn't remember where you were, but I do remember. And now I can add content. I can just add a new title here, putting a description, and even a website, like, let's put Google, and of course, because it's Meteor, it's already here, and I can upvote it. I can upvote the last one too. And each content, each subject, just as this one have infinite, not infinite, but it can have subjects. So those are subjects inside this subject. And for example, I can go to, oh, let's see, this one have more interesting data. Deductive reasoning, for example. Now we have more content about this subject, and we can go even deeper. We can go to modus ponens, modus tollens, syllogism. As deep as we have subjects, you can go and refine your knowledge and use this as a help for a learning process. All right. Let me show you our documentation, for example. We have front-end and back-end. In back-end, we have some contents here. For now, we don't have any content because I've just added some examples here. We are using Daisy UI it's a tailwind framework. I can go and upvote. You see that it has a nice animation because of Svelte, actually. And for example, we have state. I don't know why this screen is like this. It shouldn't be. Anyway, I recorded actually a video teaching you how our app works. So we have an example of looking through our content. It's a video where I explain how our code works, and someone learning to contribute to it could look and use this video to learn. So this is our app. Let me bring some notes I have here. We didn't have time to actually implement dependencies, but it's a feature we will implement in the future. So you can have a subject, and you could have another subject that is a dependency of the first one. For now, what you can do is, when you are an admin, let me be an admin, you can reorder those guys here. So I can say that actions is the first, and maybe it's the best order for you to learn them. It would be great to have a global search for quicker navigation, but we don't have this implemented yet. Those are the ideas we have to improve it. And also, there's no convenient way to make an overview of everything there is inside those contents and those subjects and sub-subjects and everything. Also,
oh, go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
We have themes. Look at this one. So pretty. That's all.
Okay, so as a student, I can I can see the content and I can navigate to YouTube. What other actions I can do? I can also upvote a content that is there. Is that the idea
Yeah.
as a student?
You can upvote, you can add more content. Only administrators for now can add subjects, but I could add a new subject here. This button is not available if you're not an admin. So I added a subject here, and now it's available for students.
But what would happen like if people just start to add some random content? Like, do you have any plans to have an approval step? Because right now, if I go there, I can just add a bunch of bad content, right?
Yeah, you could do that, but at first we plan to use this in like one class where there's a limited number of people. But of course, there are multiple ways of trying to avoid that. We could make someone approve the content first. We could add a list of bad words or bad sites we don't want them to use, or even add an allow list for sites they can actually link. But for now, it's not implemented.
Okay, that looks really good, really nice. Yeah, go ahead, Elise.
I was going to say, I think this is a really interesting concept from the EdTech perspective, especially from like a self-driven learning. I think my only questions are similar to Felipe's. So whether there's like a moderator for any content that might not be useful or not appropriate for the specific course. But I think another direction for this as well from a self-directed learning from the EdTech space is even having this available for like a lower grades for use, even for
yes,
you know, kids to high school, because self-directed learning is such a big thing in the EdTech community. So I also just want to comment on the graphics. I think those are really nice, and the layouts are very clean. So I think you guys did a good job there.
Yeah, Julia is an amazing designer. She did all this. I can't make things pretty to save my life. It was all her.
It looks
Actually, I don't
beautiful.
see I don't see any limits to the app in terms of who could use it, because also I've used it to write a documentation for a code. I could use it for like if I have a new employee and I have to train them, to explain them how things work, I could also use this and teach them the important steps and procedures and all that.
Do you have more questions? We still have 6 minutes.
Can you show us some code?
Of course I can.
Especially because you're using Svelte, and I think everybody else was using React. So maybe you have some part that you can show us that you think it's really cool combination between Svelte and Meteor.
Svelte and Meteor, I have never used those two before this hackathon. Actually, I've used a lot of both, but in separately, and it actually goes really well together. I was surprised on how well it goes. And well, I don't know, let me think of a cool thing to show. State, like the state management, because it's a hackathon, I hacked the state management. And all I do is create a Svelte store. And this Svelte store just updates into an auto run. So I have the current database, all the database in the front end. Of course, I was planning to make this better, but you know, it's a hackathon, might hack. This is really cool to do something like this with Svelte and Meteor because, well, stores are a powerful way to provide data to the front end. And I not only provide data, but I provide some functions, some methods. And in the front end, I only interact with the state by changing it, or I only change the state by using those functions. So it's controlled. It's somewhat like a Redux-like approach, where these functions could be like the Redux message, right? In a sense, this is I think a cool thing I did, and I plan to make this grow and be better. Of course I'll have to change the publications in the accordingly, right, with the data I actually need on the front end.
Yeah, but even publishing everything, it feels slick, right? It's the navigation is fast and it's good, even if you're publishing everything. Yeah.
the navigation is really fast because Svelte is one of the fastest front end thingies. Every time I say those measurements, it's really fast. And it's because we have not much data. All the data is just text, descriptions and links for now. But yeah, it's quite quick. It's so quick, it might be actually a problem because things happen too fast and people don't value things that are that fast. Sometimes it has to be slow so people give value to it. Oh, I can delete too. Let me delete this one because I am an admin.
Okay, we still have 3 minutes. Do we have more questions for Luis and Julia? No? Nice job. It looks really good. And I hope this project also continues. I have a very similar project that's called How to Create an App. So it's a very similar idea, but with a different goal. So it would be nice to see like how far this project can go, and education is always welcome.
I'll take this forward back to my university and try to implement it. If we get good results, I'll take it even further.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Team 404, are you here?
They are not here, like they are team 404. The jokes is
error.
Not found.
Not found. Okay, Darlene.
I don't know if in English you say also uncle jokes, because in Portuguese you say like piada de tiozão. It's like big uncle jokes.
We say dad jokes here.
Dad jokes, yeah.
Okay, dad jokes. Yeah, you can say I think as well. Okay. Sorry, you can start your presentation. We can hear you. Make sure you are.
Hi. So I'm trying to share
Oh,
my screen,
okay.
but I don't see the option here. Oh, I see it right
Maybe.
now. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Could you guys let me know if you could hear the sound? I know sometimes it doesn't work.
It's working.
The following is a presentation.
Yep.
Hello. Thank you for joining us today. The following is a presentation about Group 404's web application for the 2021 Meteor Hackathon. PetPal is an application built to help prevent animals from the negative impacts of living in an animal shelter. There are many reasons why pet parents need to separate from their beloved companions, such as financial stresses, behavioral issues, housing concerns, and other personal circumstances. PetPal wants to provide pet parents an opportunity to rehome their animals, as well as provide a useful tool to those who are seeking a new companion. Our hope is that PetPal reduces the number of animals admitted into shelters while decreasing the number of euthanizations due to overcrowding and understaffed and underworked rescue professionals. Behavioral issues that commonly develop in the shelter include anxiety, which leads to aggression towards people or animals, and fear, which causes leash reactivity and barrier-related aggression. Some other common problems include the emergence of destructive behavior and house training regression. When users visit our app, they will be asked to log in or create an account. Once they have signed in, they will be presented with our home screen with an option to view pets, list a pet, or learn more. Let's start out by looking at the View Pets page. The View Pets page will allow a user to browse local pets available for adoption, as well as browse by filter through type, including dogs, cats, bunnies, reptiles, and others. They can also view a pet's profile to learn more about them, including their breed, personality, age, and see more photos if available. They also have the option to add this listing to their favorites, which they can later view on their user profile. If a user joins hoping to rehome their pet, they can create a listing for them using the List a Pet page. Here, they will be asked for the pet's name, type, breed, age, and a description. Lastly, they will be asked for a photo URL. They can then submit their listing and view this on their user profile. They can also see a list of their favorited listings. For users that would like to learn more about the problem surrounding pet homelessness and contributing issues, they can visit our Learn More page. Here, they can learn more about pet homelessness, population control, breed discrimination, as well as how to contribute to the solution. Now, let's take a deeper dive into the user profile. Here, users will be able to edit their listings, changing any information about the pet profile, as well as changing their status from available to adopted. We have implemented an email notification feature where all users who have this pet on their favorited list will receive an email when the status is changed to adopted. And here you will see in our test email that we have received an email stating Koa from our favorites list has been adopted. Real-world data was used in the creation of our app on both our View Pets and Learn More page. On our View Pets page, pet data was collected through a web scrape from Pet Finder. And on our Learn More page, information was collected through resources such as the ASPCA, as well as the Humane Society of the United States. We would now like to talk about future functions we would like to implement on our application. In the future, we would like users who are listing a pet to be able to upload more than one photo at a time. On the View Pets page or pet profile, we would like to provide an in-page chat where users can speak to one another about a listing, possibly somewhere beneath this photos and videos section. We would also like to add a place for ad placement for monetization. We would now conclude our presentation and open the chat for questions and opportunities to view our code. Thank you. How do I stop my screen?
I think that it was a great presentation. I do have a couple questions, and maybe it's just clarity on the actual process. But is this specifically scraping based off of like a location for SPCAs in a specific city or state, or is it kind of a more of the objective is to put a dog, like as an example, if I have a dog that I need to rehome, then it would be keeping the dog out of the shelter until it's rehomed somewhere else. Is that kind of the process there?
So the web scrape that we conducted was mostly just to fill, I guess, the list of pets page with some data. What I discovered during our research, I guess, is that a lot of shelters actually charge a large fee for adoption. So it can range anywhere from like $250 to $300+ for a dog or a cat. So what I want, or what our group would like to do, is offer, I guess, a free solution and also keep pets out of the shelter. Does that answer your
okay? Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Well, I guess let's go to the code and let us see what you have under the hood.
Let's see. Let me see. How do I share my screen again? I don't see the button. Hold on one second. Oh, here it is. Oh my gosh. I use Zoom every day and I don't know why I can't remember where the button is. I'm so sorry. Okay, here it is. So we have our app, I guess. So I would like to start off by stating that I did most of the front end design, and I was really blessed with a team that was really great at like all the back end stuff. So tying in the collections and populating the different pages. So for instance, let's start with the user profile. So in the user profile, here we have the implementation for, I guess, the favorited pets. So it ties to the user's ID. That's how we were able to populate the user page with the information or their favorited listings. We also have, this is the user profile. Okay, and then we also have the different pets under their own listings, and then the different pets that they favorited, I believe is here somewhere right here. And then on the user, let me see. Let's also go to the list pets page. So here is where they implemented, I guess, the filter. Is it on here? Yeah, so right here is where they implemented the filter to be able to filter through the different types of animals. And then right here is just a quick call to the collection for the different pets that we had. So we listed each pet inside of this little column here to show the pet's images, their name, breed, their age, and their photo. And then let's go to the pet profile. So on the pet profile, we have kind of a similar call, I guess. Here is where you can edit the profile if you're the owner of the listing. So you can update the name, the breed, the age, description, photo, or type. And then here is the call to the suite alert, I guess, that we used to say whether it was updated successfully or if there was an error. Okay, and then here is the call to the pet profile card where we, I guess, where we formatted the way that the card is presented on the page. And yes. So I actually have, oh, thank you. Did you have a question?
Do we have more questions or do you want to ask something? Yeah.
Well, I wanted to show, I guess, where the email function is located.
Okay.
But someone in my group did that and I wasn't able to take a look at it. We just finished it yesterday at like 1 a.m. So I'm just going to message him really quick to ask where it is. He's on, but I'm not sure how come he's not in the group. So let me just message him on Discord very quickly.
Probably if you look for email.send, I think you're going to find it.
Okay.
If you can just search all and then email.send, it's probably there.
How do I search all? Just Control F?
Maybe Control Shift F.
Okay.
Control Shift F.
Okay, yeah. That
Yeah. Like email.send, maybe you're going to find.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, so he put it in the search. So this is where we implemented the notification to be sent if the status is changed from available to adopted.
Yep, really good.
Thank
Any
you.
questions? Any questions?
Yeah, we'd be more than happy to clarify any concerns or questions about the code.
For me, it's good. I don't know if you have questions about the code.
I think I've noticed there that you're calling the database on the client as well. So I'm not sure if you're still in the using, I think it's insecure package.
I'm not sure. So one of my group members just wanted me to mention that we use the Meteor email package to implement the email notification feature. They told me so many times to say that. I'm sorry for missing.
That's good to see.
It's okay. And we also have access to the code. So if you have more questions, you can double check in the code. So it's not a problem. It's okay to just focus in the front end. That's completely fine. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you. It was a great presentation and great project.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your time. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Awesome. So we have Wait State up next. Just raise your hand, please.
I think it's Patrick. He said we are here.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Clyde, why don't you go ahead and kick things off, and then I'll go ahead and go through with the site demo.
Sure. Hello, everyone. We are Wait State. The team is consisted of Patrick, Z, Jake, and Jessica.
Just a question. Are you sharing your screen or not yet?
Not yet.
'Cause
Patrick will be sharing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So along with the team, we tackle one of the challenges in the healthcare field. So for the problem in the healthcare field, waiting in the hospital is a crucial problem, especially during the pandemic. Right now, there are a lot of patients in the hospital at the moment, and a user won't be able to check in with the hospital because of the full capacity of hospitals at the moment. So we wanted to create a software solution to provide users a convenient way for users to check in, check out a selected hospital to get the medical attention that they need, and to provide healthcare workers an easy patient wait time management system. And that's what the project is about, ideally. I'll hand it off to Patrick for the demo.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Clyde. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Sorry, can everybody see this? Great. So I've got 3 functionalities that I'm gonna kind of go through here with us today, really briefly. I'm not gonna try and drag this out too much, but ideally with Wait State, we design 3 sort of user stories or kind of tracks. The first one here that I'll kind of generate for us is the site administrator. So with this account, we're gonna go ahead and be able to create hospital administrator accounts, or rather they'll be the accounts that we can use to administer patients in and out of the hospital. So let me go ahead and log into this. Okay, so as we see on the upper left-hand screen, we are logged in as the site administrator. Site administrator only gets one function, and that's to add an administrator account. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to be adding a user. So when we create the hospital administrator account, we actually need to specify which hospital they're tied to, because this is how we're doing the tie-in with where they're able to create patients. So I'm going to go ahead and create one for Queens. Let's call it Bob Test. Let's do Bob admin gmail.com. Okay, so now we went ahead and made a hospital administrator account. So I'm going to log out of the site administrator account and log in with that one. All right, we're logged out. So we'll go to the administrator login then. So we envision the hospital administrator account to be the account that's going to check in and out the patient. So they're going to be the one that has access to the panel to do all of that. So sorry, did I miss the login?
I think it's Bobby admin.
Bob underscore admin.
It's Bob underline. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and make another one really quickly. Okay. All right. Okay, great. So now that we've logged in with a specific hospital administrator account with the dropdown that we mentioned earlier, this account is going to create and check in patients that are specifically tied to this hospital. So let's go ahead and check in a few patients really quickly. To get everybody in our patient directory, or into our collection rather, we need to make sure that they have a unique ID as well as a unique patient ID. It's just something that you would expect that people get at a hospital. So we just tap the button. Let's check in some people. How about Bob Smith, who has hurt his foot? Yeah, let's go ahead and add it. Great. So now when I go ahead and scroll down here, I can see that there's a patient with the name Bob of his patient ID, as well as the administrator string of the account that actually went ahead and created this. And he's the first person in the queue. So in regards to the queue time, we can go ahead then and see approximately how long he's going to have to wait with this change weighted time. So with this field here, we're going to change approximately how long in minutes it's going to take before he's seen. So right now we're saying it's going to take 50 minutes. But let's say we change it to something a little bit more appropriate, say 15, and go ahead and change that. And we get the nice sweet alert and we see that the time has changed. From Bob's point of view, it's pretty easy for him to log on and use this site now that we've went ahead and created him in the system. So all Bob needs is his patient ID, and then he can log in. And here we see from Bob's perspective, we get that current amount of wait time as far as where he's at in the queue, which he's the first person. So his wait time is just going to be that 15 minutes. We see the reason why he's here, and we see the ticket ID, which is his patient, just his patient ID. If I log out and log back in as the administrator, I can add more people to the queue, and then that will change the wait time appropriately. So let's go ahead and add, say, 2 more people really quickly. Let's say this is Bob 2, and he's Smith 2. And he also hurt his foot. Again, we scroll down and we see that he's here. So we would expect then with an average current wait time of 15 minutes, that Bob 2's wait time when he logs in should be 15 minutes. So let's just log in and check that really quickly. Again, log out of the administrator account, go to the patient login side, enter this, check. And it's 30 minutes as we would expect. So those are the 3 separate kind of user tracks. The site administrator account, which is going to kind of manage all these different hospital administrator accounts, as well as the patients, which don't need to have any sort of login apart from their ID, which they're given at the time of check-in at the hospital. I'm willing and open to any and all questions you guys have.
No question for me. I think this is a pretty interesting concept. We have something very similar in Canada for walk-in clinics, but it's a time of like how soon you'll be seen by a doctor, which I think is pretty interesting. I guess I lied. My only question is, would any of that, like the patient information and the time delays, be reprioritized based off of like injury priority? Does the system kind of recognize anything in that way?
That's a great question, and thank you for the question. Currently, the answer is no. We did attempt to try and also have a sort of reason field by which we could attribute a certain amount of expected time, i.e. if you go in for hurting your foot, perhaps it doesn't take you as long to be seen, but if you go in there and then you need surgery afterwards, maybe you're looking at a 2 to 3 hour affair, perhaps longer, depending on where you are. So in the future, we would like to add the functionality that it also depends on people in the queue before you on what your average or expected wait time is to be. One additional functionality that I forgot to demo here is our search directory page, which gave us a good amount of headaches. So you can search by any one of these fields here. I'm just going to go ahead and search for the one that we went ahead and create an account for. If we go ahead and go to this site, we can go ahead and see what the expected wait time is for anyone who just goes to the ER.
That's cool. I think it would be really interesting if there was any kind of weight added to like the injury type, just because I think that would drastically change this screen as an example. But yeah, overall, I think this is a really cool concept.
Thank you.
Still have 5 minutes if you have more questions.
I can go to the code now if you guys would like.
Yeah, can take a look.
Okay. All right, so here we have the directory page. The directory page was giving us a good amount of issues as far as trying to search the number of hospitals. It may not have been apparent when I was on the directory page earlier, but the number of hospitals that we have actually populated is fairly low. We ended up having to cut out, I think it was like 90% of the states, just because when we were trying to search this on our deployed application rather than on our local application, the file was just simply too large. Which seems kind of strange because to us at least because the file is only approximately 3 megabytes in size for a JSON file. So I think it has to be in some way that we're doing this. So that's as far as subscribing and then searching through that collection. That was a real big headache for our team.
Yeah, ideally you should just publish the data that is visible to the user and not publish like the 3 megabytes of data. So that's probably why it was a little bit slow. Yeah.
Yes, and that's why for our demo today, we went ahead and removed some of those to make it a bit more snappy, and we didn't have to wait 3+ minutes for a simple search. One of the other challenges we had was the admin panel. We spent a lot of time trying to get this to work the way we wanted it to, simply because we really try to think of this from the hospital's perspective, or the why would they use this? We thought that if it doesn't have at least a baseline of functionality that they need, checking in patients, changing that average kind of wait time as the administrator there in the hospital sees it in real time, what that should be, that it wouldn't have enough functionality to be useful. So we did spend a lot of time trying to get this all to work. That's where we had spent some time generating random patients, being able to add and delete people, which I didn't go over, but it works as you would expect if we were going to try and delete people. You just kind of simply click on their name, and then we can kind of go from there. I can demo here very briefly. So here we see both of our Bobs. Let's say Bob 2 here is done already. We can snag his patient ID here, and then we can go ahead and check them out. Then that removes them from the queue. And then as we're moving people in and out of the queue, that's going to adjust the average wait time for anybody who gets added later on.
Any other questions?
Do you have some type of notification when the queue changes for the users, the patients that are waiting? Something like that?
Yeah, that's another great question. Thank you. Currently at this point in time, we do not. That's going to be something that we would want to add later on. As I mentioned a bit previously, we did focus a lot on trying to get this from the hospital's perspective to try and have that business pitch to say, this is why you should use it. And then we could flush out the functionality of the user side later on. But thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you. It was really nice presentation, and also the app looks good. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Great. So the next team. So before the next demo, did I miss anyone by any chance? Just raise your hand.
I think we're good.
Okay, so the next demo is by Anna. So that's Team Kodak. Unfortunately, due to her time zone, she wasn't able to present, but I will try and play the video now.
We don't hear. Is your mic capturing the sound?
Let's see.
I can also try here. Let me try to download this file.
Okay.
I don't know why I can't play the file, it seems. Let me try another player. Oh,
no.
Project that
now I can see. Yeah, now I can hear you. Yeah.
is called Free Space, and the problem that I'll be issuing that I will be The
Is the video
idea
in?
that I
Okay,
have come
it's
up
back.
with is named Free Space, and the problem that I'll be addressing is adolescent mental health. So, as we all know, mental health conditions are a very big problem, especially in students and adolescents. About 1 in 5 teens from ages 12 to 18 years suffer from at least one mental health condition in their lifetime, and these mental conditions account for about 16% of the global burden of disease and injury in people aged 10 to 19 years. Half of all these mental health conditions start by 14 years of age, but most cases are often left undetected and untreated. Suicide is the third leading cause of death in 15 to 19-year-olds. From this evidence, we can see that mental health is a very prevalent issue in society, and it's one that is often stigmatized, and it should be something that we should have a greater discussion about in society. The COVID-19 pandemic has also exacerbated these conditions, with many of these mental health conditions being downplayed as stress. The consequences of not addressing mental health and psychological development for children and adolescents extends to adulthood and limit opportunities for leading fulfilling lives. According to a study, majority of low treatment rates are due to the lack of knowledge about mental health and mental health services, which accounts for about more than 53% of the participants in this survey. Young people are reported not knowing where to find help and or whom to talk to, and failing to perceive a problem as either serious enough to require help or mental health related. Thus, Free Space addresses this issue by having the intention of filling this knowledge gap. Free Space is a platform that allows adolescents and students to gain complete access to all relevant information about various mental health conditions. It is a curation of online sources in a web app that is convenient and accessible to all. This includes information information on the types of conditions, warning signs, myths and facts, coping strategies, and where to seek further help, as well as important hotlines. It is especially timely since we recently commemorated World Mental Health Day on 10th October. Free Space has the main purpose of raising awareness amongst the vulnerable and reducing the stigma around mental health conditions. This first version will begin at a local scale with all the information specific to users in Singapore. As such, there's a choose a country button over here that allows you to select which country to choose, and for now there's only Singapore. The first page that you'll be welcomed with is useful hotlines and support services that are useful information that the users may find that they need, and these are non-exhaustive. As such, there's a link here that goes to another list of more services that they can seek help from. Going to the next page, users can see that there are multiple cards. First one is types of mental health conditions that addresses what are mental disorders and the few common types. The next card is myths and facts. So that these addresses the myths that people may have in terms of mental health conditions, and it debunks all these very common questions that people may have. For now, there are only 5, but more will be added as the multiple versions will be developed. The next card is common signs of mental disorders. So this includes the different symptoms that you may experience, categorized in terms of the mental health condition like depression, anxiety, bipolar, PTSD, schizophrenia, and it also includes the causes of mental disorders, which there's a list over here. The next card is essential tips that users may find helpful in their everyday life. So there are 10 tips here that allow them to help to improve their mental well-being. So finally, there's this button here that allows us to go back to this hotlines page in a new tab that allows us to be able to have easy reference. And going back, so this is Free Space, and it helps to address the knowledge gap between students and adolescents that and it is like a one-stop shop for through the curation of multiple sources online, and gives the users greater raises the awareness of mental health and allows them to better detect these conditions at an early stage. So as such, through self-education, we are able to empower students and young people with the power of knowledge and allow them to lead greater and more fulfilling lives.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, if you have questions, again, like we don't have anybody to answer. So we need to hold our questions one more time. Do you have any comments, and people that are still watching here, do you have any comments, any questions? Everybody should be aware, but the award ceremony is going to be on Friday, right, Kevin? What is the
Yep,
time?
Friday. 12 p.m. if I'm not mistaken.
Depending on your time zone.
Yeah, EST.
Yeah, and for I don't know if for Hawaii this time is going to work, but I don't know if you have the other option here. Yeah, for Hawaii is going to be really soon, right? It's going to be like 5 a.m. Hawaii students, are you there? Do you have a different time slot? Yeah, that is available.
Well, let's see what we can do with the schedule. If you want to, we can always put it later.
Yeah, if you'd like, you can switch my presentation spot at 2 o'clock with the award ceremony, so I can go earlier in the day if that works.
That would be on
But I
Thursday,
think
and there
yours is
an event afterwards.
yes.
Your event is sadly too not long enough. What we
Well-
can do, we can switch it with your keynotes, Felipe. That's one option. Or we can switch it with any of mine sessions. So
I think if you switch with my keynote, it would be better. Yeah.
okay.
So it would be like 2 p.m. And okay, so we are going to change for 2 p.m. and my keynote will be changed for, yeah. So Hawaii will be like 8 a.m. I believe. So it's going to be much better. Yeah. We are going to of course say who are the winner and the second prize, the third prize in the event. Okay. So we are going to discuss now who is going to be the winner. We don't know yet. Like, we have a lot of notes here to compare and to try to decide. And we are excited to give the prize. Kevin, any final notes?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you all for all your demos. It was all great apps, and we'll see you on Friday.
Or earlier during the
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. And also, like, tomorrow, the whole day, and also on Friday, the whole day, you are going to have a lot of talks. So you should check it out, like the Impact Conference. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Everyone.